You look about sometimes and see, obviously you have friends and all that still work in big places, you know, and you hear about the kind of money they're making. Some weeks when you paid all your bills and you're going home with very little, you're like, you know, I could be doing maybe what they're doing. But you type into Yale, you're looking like your car repaired or whatever. He says, I can do this here for you. You know, a good friend of mine, he pays for it in Mollusk. He come up number 1 every time in the top 5. So there's like a top 5 box, and then the rest of the mechanics are below them. And if you pay me, I'll get you in the top 5. I can't get you number 1, but the 2, 3, 4 and 5, every time somebody clicks on it, if you're in number 2, then you'll bounce down to 5 and move up the list again between 2 and 5. I was like, right, okay. So I was actually sitting with a smile on my face while I said this to him, and I was like,
what up, buddy, and welcome to the Roots to Revenue podcast. This is the podcast that helps small businesses grow. This video is in association with Jobber. Jobber is scheduling and invoicing and quoting software that I've used for the last 10 years to run my own business. Not only does it get me paid faster, but my customers love it. In the studio today, we've got G, and G went from 0 to hero.
So, G, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I own a car repair shop in Newton Abbey, do mechanical body shop. How it came about was I was working in a large factory, got paid off, and with the help of family and friends, sort of just got into start my own place. Before
you worked in the factory, do you want to give the viewers just a wee bit of history about how you originally became a car mechanic? Or
yeah, my dad owned a breaker's yard when I was younger, and I was like most young boys, just absolutely car mad. Scale electrics and stuff like that for Christmas, and toy cars, but I still have some of them. Like sound mad to some people, but any of the kids come to the house and stuff, they get. My mum used to keep them in a Kentucky Fried Chicken box, which is
a typical Northern Ireland thing. Northern Ireland.
It could be, aye.
Did you work for yourself before that? Was that the first time you'd been self-employed?
I'd done a bit of taxing years ago and done a bit of paint work and stuff, but I never really had the confidence just to go, right, I'm doing this.
It's a big step, especially to open your own premises. And
no, I started straight into the garage. My father-in-law knew a guy that had a unit down there, and him and the other guy, Herbie, really helped getting me a unit. So they put a good word in for me, and that's sort of where it all started, yeah.
Whenever it started, what sort of money was it to take the unit on at the start? And
do you know what? I don't really know, because that's where my father-in-law he stepped in and he done the deposit thing. I think I had the first month's rent, he had the deposit, and then he actually bought me my ramp. He just says, pay it back when you can.
That's a pretty nice.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was, you know, getting that confidence from somebody. People backing you like that, you know, just going, you look after my grandkids. Go ahead and do your thing. You know, it was massive. It was really, really massive.
Because whenever anybody watching this, whenever you start a small business, the cost is just crazy. And even trying to get working, but trying to get a garage off the ground is, for the likes of me, you know, I started my business already on the side and you buy the van. But to go from nothing to all of a sudden to buy a garage, that's quite a bit. And then trying to get the work in at the start. So at the start, how did you advertise yourself, or how did you initially get your first 100 customers, for example?
The first couple of months, we printed our own leaflets and stuff and just posted them through letterboxes and stuff like that. One of my best friends spent hours and hours in his house designing this stuff, which I thought was pretty good at the time. It was like cartoony and stuff, but maybe not too professional looking at it, you know, now from this point of view, but it must have been okay because we got customers out of it.
How many flyers did you print? Did you get them printed locally, or did you?
We've done it all in Johnny's spare bedroom.
Oh, right, you done it. You printed them all. Yep.
To be honest with you, he didn't even charge me for the ink or anything. I maybe supplied the paper and he done everything else. Like,
how many flyers did you get printed originally?
I think we started off with like 500 and we had them posted out like really, really quickly. I'm nearly sure he done me another 1,000. Like I say, all in his bedroom. Just like it felt like another backer. You know, somebody standing behind you going,
somebody taking an investment in you. Yeah.
I would say opening a shop or something, like you have a shop front on a main street, you're just waiting on people walking by or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to get people to trust you lots and lots. Because they do, like, you're maybe like a doctor in some ways, because people only ring you when they have a problem. You're one of them problem people.
Did you get any help from the local council, or did you do a Go For It program or anything like that?
I wouldn't even have knew where to go. At the time, I was over 30, and I know there was a project for under 30s for starting their own business, but that was the only one I ever heard of, and only because a friend of mine done it. Anything after that, no. It didn't apply for anything, didn't know how.
Anyone watching this, one of the best things to do is to approach your local council and speak to the business, ask to speak to the business department. It's amazing that sometimes there can be support there. You're not going to get financial support, but a lot of time they'll give you an advisor, and that advisor can help you with all sorts of things. If you wanted to expand your business on out, I actually get an advisor with me whenever I wanted to hire an extra member of staff, and help me find that help me find Jason. I don't think I would have found as good an employee without the help that I received. So if you're watching this and if you have any problems with your business, or you're thinking about starting a business, 100% talk to your local council, because you might be surprised at the support that's there in the Go For It program.
Right. It might sound weird. I wouldn't be somebody going asking for help straight after talking about the help that I got, but like that was like I wasn't really asking for it. They were just going, "You should do this." You know,
they sort of believe in you to do that.
The belief. You know, if I want to get something, I try and save up for it. Or if I want to buy new tools, I save up for them. If I want to try and get better at something, I'm always trying to improve. Every job I want to make better than the last one.
Whenever you first started your business, and you did your first 500 or 1,500 flyers, did you find them work started to come in? Was that?
Yeah. You go for nearly nothing to having a couple of jobs a day. And then because I really find how you treat people and how you talk to them, always try to explain, especially the ladies, not talking down to them, talking on the same level, and really simplifying what you've done. Not going too deep into it, you know, but listen, this is your suspension arm. There's play in this part. It would fail the MOT, and that's why we need to change it. And, you know,
a lot of companies would try and upsell. Just upsell.
I try not to do that. Maybe I should a wee bit more, because the likes of if somebody, say their brake discs, listen, we'll get a new set of pads out of these ones, and then in another 6,000 or 8,000 miles, we'll change the discs. People don't really want to hear that. They want to know that they don't have to come back. You know, no, do it now, because it's nearly like an inconvenience. Rather than you trying to save them a couple of quid, they're thinking, well, they'll have to come back in 6 or 8 months' time again. I have to spend more money.
If you said to me, "Oh, you'll get another 2 months out of that," I'd rather you just change them, just and then I'm not having to worry about.
Or, you know, you have enough to worry about running your own business and doing other things, rather than I have to remember this for 2 months' time. You know, to bring it back again, and then the inconvenience of you maybe having to get a lift up, get a lift back again. You know, stuff like that.
There are wee things that you learn as you go, and you can only really learn that from getting feedback from your customers. So always asking people for.
You lose that a wee bit. You actually tend to forget to ask your customers, you know, how did you feel about that? I had a really good one a couple of weeks ago. Beautiful Audi SQ5. You always love working at sports cars. And that's like a sports family car, you know. Comes in with an injector problem. Sorts it out for the guy. He actually drove it for a week and rang me. That car, even when I bought it, that car never drove as nice as what it did. Until you fixed it there, you know, with fixing the injector. So wee phone calls, like that's really good.
So you got just to go back to, you got your first few customers.
Yeah.
What did you do then to keep the work coming in?
Yale.com.
I can remember before we start talking about Yale, I can remember whenever we were talking pre-cam, you said that whenever you first opened for the first 5 or 6 months, you had the cleanest garage, cleanest garage and the cleanest tools anywhere.
Yeah.
Clean tools aren't always a good, clean tools are a good sign, but clean workshop is a sign of a...
It can be a bad sign, yeah. I still get customers now. I actually say my workshop's one of the tidiest I've been in. I don't think so, but yeah, back then, it was like brand new for 5 or 6 months. It was okay. Every morning you come in, it was lovely to look at, lovely clean floor, lovely white walls. I had lovely big pictures of sports cars up around the walls and all. It was a good place to be, but it just wasn't busy enough, obviously, you know.
It doesn't pay the bills being nice.
It didn't pay the bills being a nice place to come. But I think when people started coming, I would say every customer was shocked with how tidy it was, and, you know, and I think it transfers into they know they're getting a tidy job done.
I'm going to say that Big G's actually my car mechanic, and I remember him saying that you were sort of struggling to start to get the business in, and you were sort of thinking to yourself, this isn't working? How am I going to, this isn't working?
Yeah.
Is it time to give this up and go back to employment?
You look about sometimes and see, obviously you have friends and all that still work in big places, you know, and you hear about the kind of money they're making. And some weeks when you've paid all your bills and you're going home with very little, you're like, you know, I could be doing with maybe what they're doing. I'm so glad, like so glad I really kept at it.
Yeah.
In some ways, it made you put your head down and work harder, you know, and really trying to, like, opening the body shop part to try and make it like trying to do everything in one shop, you know, for your customers, you know,
Yeah.
rather than you just needing brakes or service done. You know, if you damage your fan, then you can ring me.
The one-stop shop. Yep.
One-stop shop.
Yep.
And we actually
Yeah.
looked at putting a slogan like that in. A really, really good trade customer, and I would bounce a few things off him. Really, really smart guy, Gareth. He buys some nice cars. I always love working on, but the likes of that there, I would bounce off him, and he was like, "Yeah, it sounds good." And then he comes back to me a couple of days later, and he says, I think, you know, like on Facebook or whatever, it might sound a bit tacky, you know, so we decided not to go with it. One-stop shop, you know.
It's sort of like if somebody calls themselves Honest Joe, you're like, if you have to call yourself honest, then
that's it.
It's nice having customers that you can bounce stuff
Really,
off
really
and
good.
they can help you. It's amazing that the people you come into contact with your business that are happy to help you grow your business. So your first few months was a bit of a struggle. Your first 5 or 6 months was a bit of a struggle, and then you decided to start advertising in Yale. Did they come to you or did you go to them?
I think I seen it advertised somewhere, but I ended up talking to a really nice guy. He knew a few people that I knew, and I knew them, and we didn't know each other, but it was one of them. We got it set up and stuff, and he tried to upsell me.
As they do.
As it do.
As they
So
do.
when you type into Yale, you're looking like your car repaired or whatever. He says, I can do this here for you. You know, a good friend of mine, he pays for it in Mollusk. He come up number 1 every time in the top 5. So there's like a top 5 box, and then the rest of the mechanics are below them. And if you pay me, I'll get you in the top 5. I can't get you number 1 because Arthur has it, but the 2, 3, 4, and 5, every time somebody clicks on it, if you're in number 2, then you'll bounce down to 5 and move up the list again between 2 and 5. I was like, right, okay. So I was actually sitting with a smile on my face while I said this to him, and I was like, have you your Yale.com open? Yeah. He says, type in car repairs. He types it in. Newton Abbey, types it in, hits enter. There's my name. And he was like, right, I'll see what you've done there with your name. So
Car repairs NI.
Yeah.
That's what people search for.
Yeah, that was a really good phone call because the guy just says to me, yeah, that's awesome what you've done there with your name.
A lot of people starting out don't really think about their name that much, and I've said this in other podcasts. Whenever I started out, I chose Premier Lawns because I thought, that sounds really good, but it's a wee bit too generic. Yours is quite generic, but it says exactly what you do. If somebody's searching for it online, car repairs, well, that's what I do.
It's like the logo as well. I've been talking to a couple of boys in England at snooker tournaments and stuff, and when they look at your Facebook, which everybody does, after they ask you a question or whatever, they're straight on having a look. You know, is this boy full of malachite, or is he, you know, is he for real? And he's like, I know. Like, I remember that. So whether he's seen it through Facebook ads or other people talking about it or whatever, you know. Because
the podcast, if you're watching this on YouTube, happy days, you might be listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Amazon. Just can you describe your logo to anyone that's listening to this on audio, so as they know? Yeah,
it's basically the outline of a sports car and has black, silver, and green. It just really tried to.
It just pops.
To pick an eye-catching colour, yeah.
It pops really well. So on Yale, did you find then Yale was bringing you in lots of work?
Yale was really, really good, and you could actually go on and change. Like, I don't do aircon, stuff like that. I only had general service and stuff on it at the very start, and then I went on and changed it to do clutches and heavier work. If you do a heavier job for somebody, you nearly always get the light service and work. You know, I want him to look after my car.
If you've done a good job,
if you've done a good job, you know.
Yeah. I sort of like repeat.
Yeah, and that's, you know, everybody needs it.
Yeah.
You know, that's how your business thrives. You know, everybody needs repeat customers. Well, that's what I think anyway. Yeah. You do need new ones. But if you look after the customers you have,
they'll keep coming back.
They keep coming back. You're generally in a good place.
Do you still advertise in Yale?
I actually haven't for a good few years.
We talked about this off camera. It was actually you said, you know, whenever Yellow Pages used to be this size.
Yeah.
And it was this size, and then it was this size, and then it was online. I think maybe Yale's maybe had it. I don't think nobody necessarily goes on to Yale now to search for stuff.
No, I think you can just fire it into Google Google.
Whenever I'm searching
like,
for anything, it's just Google. I don't
Yeah.
go to a specific
That's it.
search. I just,
Yeah.
Because Google
Yeah.
My Business or Google Business Profile now is so strong.
I don't know why. I don't know how it works or whatever, but I think years ago, if you typed in car repairs in Newton Abbey in Google, it took you all over the place. And you had to go to the likes of Yale or, I don't know why, but every time we talk about Yale, I always see the two guys running down 118, 118. But it's the same as that, like that business appeared really, really quickly.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, like, nobody needs that. Like,
yeah.
I would never know anybody that.
Yeah. No,
owns
you
up for
don't hear it.
anything,
It's
no.
gone. Aye.
Yeah. It's like
Just one of those-
telephone boxes too, isn't it? Like,
So, what way do you find to advertise yourself now?
I actually advertise very little, but I did run one there. December was really quiet in the body shop. December's usually absolutely crazy, bit of ice, bit of snow, people pranking their cars and stuff. Ran a couple of Facebook ads, just ran it for 5 days. Phone blew up again. Like from even existing customers, So I would do work through accident management company too. I was actually really surprised that loads of my customers didn't know this, even though I have the leaflets and stuff in my office. I would just think,
Unless you tell people. So you have to.
yeah, it's mad that. Like, I thought, like, if I was standing in your office, I'd be looking around, if there's a leaflet sitting and try and remember, right? Oh, he does that.
For my business through Jobber, I obviously collect people's emails, and then Jobber is actually tied into MailChimp, and MailChimp is a newsletter platform, so we can take segmented customers and just target them off the tags for email campaigns. It's the worst thing you can say is whenever a customer says to you, "I didn't know you did that."
Yeah.
That's a fail. That's a
fail.
That's a fail on your part. So you need
100%.
so different for me because I have their email addresses and they've opted in for me to contact them.
Yeah.
But it'd be a lot harder for you to maybe because you don't necessarily have email their customers' emails. Maybe you want to start to, but
That could change today because when I leave here, I have a Zoom call set up with a company, and that's what they do. So I log, say I'm working at your van.
Yep.
I log all your details, your telephone number, your email address. It may take a wee while for me to set it up with all my customers, and when it comes to time to service your van or your MOT, my system will automatically send you an email reminding you that your MOT is coming up or your van needs serviced. So I'm really excited about that later on as well.
Get ready for the emails, Robbie.
no, that's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I get the van serviced too often, but a lot of my tools I'd service on a really regular basis because I just learned that it's easier, it's better getting the service more often than they need it.
Maintain rather than repair.
Yes, 100%.
And it does. People think it works out dear, but it doesn't. It never ever does.
Yeah.
If you're maintaining, and especially if your van's getting, your older van is getting plenty of miles on it. So I would always recommend to go down.
What do you call the system that you're looking at?
I didn't really want to say on the podcast yet, just in case it doesn't work out, because there's several companies do the same thing.
Okay.
Had I had the Zoom call like before the podcast, 100% I would have said, but
Yep.
I want to keep my options open too, because he's going to take me through the whole process of it, see if it's easy enough to work.
Well,
Because the
something
speed of doing everything, yes, it's going to take time to set up. He put everybody's numbers and all in, and cost is going to be massive.
Yep.
Is it going to cost? We were talking about something there cost £100 a month. Is it worth it?
It's worth it if it's
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
If it saves you 10 minutes a day.
It's not only that, it's customers' perception of your business. So from my point of view with Jobber, because Jobber's so polished, loads of customers comment on it and say,
So
that
professional."
system you have is amazing.
Yeah.
And that sells me. So if you have
Yeah.
something like that and they're getting email reminders, time for the service of the car, one less thing for them to worry about. And
Yeah.
you're going to be the first port of call for them. So
Yeah. I would sort of try and be old school and just treat people nice.
It'd be
Talk
nice.
and try and explain to people the likes of what I've done to their car or whatever, and just generally be nice and have good manners. You do need to push on and get stuff like that,
I'd imagine it'd be good from the point of view from the customer point of view and from your point of view, because there'd be a full record of everything that's been done to the car.
Yep.
So if a customer says to me, "Oh, the brakes, well, look, your brakes haven't been done for X many years, months,
Yep.
weeks, all that."
Whereas now you're lifting your receipt book and flicking through it. You're sort of trying to use your memory as well. Like you're going, I worked at Robbie's van at the end of July. and then you're flicking through your receipt book, like goodness knows how many receipts you have at the end of July. Hopefully loads. But yeah.
Whenever, so you just to go back to your advertising about Yale, and then you didn't use Yale. Have you done any other advertising apart from Facebook?
I've done the. Do you know, I can't even remember the name of it, but
the like ads for free or you're not being touched, something like that. Done a lot of that myself as well, but it can be expensive because it goes out to say 16,000 homes, but you maybe want to target 2 or 3 different areas.
Yeah.
And then you need to advertise for 2 or 3 months before they recommend for that sort of advertising. If you're going out in an ads for free type magazine or a magazine that's free for the homeowner, you should be in it for 3 or 4 months to build up that.
Yeah, that
can be expensive then if you're...
I actually looked into it and was able to go to a couple of the businesses were advertised in them already and asked them, you know, is he just trying to upsell me here or, you know, get an extra couple of months out of me? I think they were every 3 months anyway. And then when I rang the guy back, found out a couple of wee details, rang the guy back and said, listen, I'll probably do the year with you, which is 4 magazines. And he done me a slightly better deal again. And he was like, I don't know if he says this to everybody, but he was like, please don't tell anybody, but, you know, you're telling me you're going to do it for a year. This is what the cost is going to be rather than that. And it worked out really, really well. I think actually the first couple of jobs got out of it, paid for like 9 months of it.
Very good.
It worked out really, really well.
Before I was doing the videos, because the videos are so time consuming, we were doing a lot of driveway cleaning.
Yeah.
And I was getting my driveway cleaning from the likes of those magazines, but it's quite expensive.
It can be, yeah.
It could be quite dear. Yeah. And then we've had people in the podcast and they've talked about they only advertise digitally now because it's so much cheaper. And I suppose that's why you're on. Probably
because it's so easy too.
Yeah.
Because you save everything. It only takes time the first time. And then if you want to change a couple of pictures or something, or you want to change a couple of sentences out of what you're saying, bang, just stick it on.
You can turn it's like a tap as well.
You do nothing after that, you know.
Yep.
You tell Facebook, I'm not sure whether the views you get are true or not, but like if you only want like 2,000 people, you know, and you pay appropriately for the 2,000 people, or if you want 20,000 views, or you know, I added the WhatsApp button the last time I done the advert. Seemed to be really, really good rather than having people, you know, messaging you through Facebook. So it's hard.
You know, it's harder to keep track of everybody whenever it's coming through multiple.
It is, and especially when you have like your Facebook's split. So like I have my personal Facebook, the car repairs one, and the body shop one. So and I have a page for the car repairs one and the body shop one. So I've actually 5 Facebooks, and it's really, really hard.
Because the YouTube's quite successful, I had to take the numbers off my website, so you can't find my number anywhere. And again, the only way people can contact me is through the form, which is again jobber. But it's really good having it just all in one place. If anybody messages me on any of the other social networks, there's an autoresponder, and maybe that's what you should look at.
That's what I think Messenger does have, the autoresponder, but it was like really easy to set up on WhatsApp. I was actually getting dents fixed for a guy there through the week, and the dent man had the automated message as well. The bit of a pain I noticed through the week about it was every time I messaged him, I got the automated message, even though we were having a conversation. So it messed that up a wee bit. I don't know if there's a setting there to stop that from happening for a conversation. But it's something I'm actually going to look into.
Let me know. Let me know.
As a customer for somebody else,
you
know, I'm looking at it going, it was doing my head in, so that'll probably do my customer's head in too.
I have seen that on the Facebook one before. Like I've messaged somebody a question in the past, but then it's gone straight into like just the messages, and then when I've gone back to ask them the same questions like a couple of months later, it's then gone back to the audio. So I don't know if there's a option for a time frame.
There might not be, but
I think if there's a bit of a break in it at all, the autoresponder kicks in. But like you say, you can probably set it for a certain time frame. If anybody knows, drop me a comment down below. Let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know. If you're enjoying this podcast, if you could smash that like button and subscribe, and also if you think a friend would benefit from watching or hearing this, send them a text or an email and just share it with people.
Running your own business, how do you best unwind out of work?
Sometimes it makes you feel like you're unwinding, and sometimes it winds you up. But I play snooker and pool.
He doesn't just. He's been very modest there.
Yeah.
Big T used to play pool for Northern Ireland.
Well, I still do for the seniors A team. So
Yeah.
we're preparing at the minute to go away to Yorkshire for the Nations Cup. But seeing you're pushing me on it,
Yep.
I'm also the under 18 A team manager. So, which I sort of get, I wouldn't say forced towards, but much like the business starting, actually, I wasn't 100% confident that I'd be really good at it. Between the wife and the secretary of the NIPA, really, I don't know whether that's called blowing smoke up your arse or just making you feel like, just the odd, you're having a conversation. You'd be really good at that. You'd be really good at that. Like, look at the way the kids look up to you. Look what they're like when you're practicing with them. Stuff like this here. So I had a bit of a think about it, and I agreed to do it. So I had a wee list of things that I wanted, but it was for everything for the kids. Like, none of it was for me. I just wanted, is this going to be for the kids? And it was just all for them.
Do you want to give a wee shout out to your sponsors?
Aidan from ABL in the Valley Business Centre in Newton Abbey as well. He does a bit of electrical work, looks after catering equipment and stuff. Massive thanks to him and Alex Lindsay, Carpets and Final. He used to be in the Valley Business Centre in Newton Abbey, and he's now moved down to the Shore Road. Absolutely two awesome guys, and what they've given me for the under 18s is just absolutely phenomenal.
Boy time. Yeah. Listen, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and don't forget to smash the like button. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.